Hello and welcome to things I find interesting that happened today in the past, aka Tifitht Itp. This show is all about the events that occurred today and years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things I personally find intriguing enough for me to bring to you. The source of this information comes from the smart device application on this day, the icon of which is shown as cutoff provision at the beginning and end of each episode. The music in the background is Freefall by Audioscribe, which I found on the YouTube channel No Copyright Sounds. For links to the app, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the links in the underbar. Anyway, on with the show! Today is Tears' Day, aka Tuesday, March 1st, 2016. In 2014, at least 29 people were murdered and 130 injured in a mass stabbing at Kunming railway station in China. In 2008, the Armenian police clashed with a peaceful opposition rally protesting against fraudulent presidential elections, resulting in said police murdering 10 people. In 2007, quote-unquote squatters were evicted from Ungdomshuset in Copenhagen, Denmark, provoking the March 2007 Denmark riots. In 2006, the English-language Wikipedia reached its 1 millionth article, which was on the Jordan Hill railway station. In 2005, in Roper v. Simmons, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the execution of juveniles found guilty of murder was unconstitutional. In 2004, Mohammed Bahr al-Uram became president of Iraq. In 2003, the International Criminal Court held its inaugural session in The Hague. Also in 2003, management of the United States Customs Service and the U.S. Secret Service moved to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. In 2002, the peseta was discontinued as the official currency of Spain and was replaced by the euro. Also in 2002, the Invisat environmental satellite successfully reached an orbit of 800 kilometers, aka 500 miles, above the Earth on its 11th launch, carrying the heaviest payload to date at 8,500 kilograms, aka 8.5 tons. In 2000, the Constitution of Finland was rewritten. In 1999, the Ottawa Treaty entered into force. In 1998, Titanic became the first film to gross over $1 billion worldwide. In 1995, Yahoo was incorporated. In 1992, Bosnia and Herzegovina declared its independence from Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. In 1990, Steve Jackson Games was raided by the United States Secret Service, prompting the later formation of the Electronic Frontier Foundation. In 1989, the U.S. became a member of the Berne Convention for the Protection of Liberty and Artistic Works. In 1972, the Thai province of Yasothon was created after having been split off from the Ubon Ratchathani province. In 1971, President of Pakistan Yahya Khan indefinitely postponed the pending National Assembly session, precipitating massive civil disobedience in East Pakistan. Also in 1971, a bomb exploded in a men's room in the Capitol building of the United States. The Weather Underground claimed responsibility. In 1966, the Ba'ath Party took power in Syria. Also in 1966, the Venera 3 Soviet space probe crashed on Venus, becoming the first spacecraft from Earth to land on another planet's surface. In 1961, Uganda became self-governing and held its first elections. Also in 1961, U.S. President John F. Kennedy established the Peace Corps. In 1956, the International Air Transport Association finalized a draft of the radiotelephony spelling alphabet for the International Civil Aviation Organization. In 1954, Puerto Rican nationalists attacked the United States Capitol building, injuring 5 representatives. Also in 1954, the Castle Bravo, a 15-megaton hydrogen bomb, was detonated on Bikini Atoll in the Pacific Ocean. The resulting radioactive contamination is, to date, the worst the United States has ever caused. In 1953, Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin suffered a stroke and collapsed, dying 4 days later. In 1950, during the Cold War, Klaus Fuchs was convicted of spying for the Soviet Union by disclosing top-secret atomic bomb data. In 1947, the International Monetary Fund began financial operations. In 1946, the Bank of England was nationalized. In 1941, W47NB began operations in Nashville, Tennessee, becoming the first FM radio station in the U.S. Also in 1941, but during World War II, Bulgaria signed the Tripartite Pact, allying itself with the Axis powers. In 1936, a strike occurred on board the SS California, leading to the demise of the International Seamen's Union and the creation of the National Maritime Union. Also during 1936, the Hoover Dam was completed. In 1932, the founding of Manchukuo was declared. In 1917, the US government released the unencrypted text of the Zimmerman telegram to the public. In 1914, the Republic of China joined the Universal Postal Union. In 1912, Albert Berry made the first parachute jump from a moving airplane. In 1910, the worst avalanche in U.S. history buried a Great Northern Railway train in northeastern King County, Washington, resulting in 96 deaths. In 1901, the Australian Army was formed. In 1896, Henry Becquerel discovered radioactivity. In 1893, electrical engineer Nikola Tesla gave the first public demonstration of radio in St. Louis, Missouri. In 1873, E. Remington and Sons in Ilion, New York, began production of the first practical typewriter. In 1872, Yellowstone National Park was established as the world's first national park. In 1867, Nebraska became the 37th U.S. state. This caused Lancaster to be renamed Lincoln and become the state's capital. In 1847, the state of Michigan formally abolished capital punishment. In 1845, U.S. President John Tyler signed a bill authorizing the United States to annex the Republic of Texas. In 1836, a convention of delegates from 57 Texas communities convened in Washington on the Brazos, Texas, to deliberate independence from Mexico. In 1803, Ohio was admitted as the 17th U.S. state. In 1790, the first U.S. Census was authorized. In 1781, the Constitutional Congress adopted the Articles of Confederation. In 1700, Sweden introduced its own Swedish calendar, in an attempt to gradually merge into the Gregorian calendar. They reverted to the Julian calendar on this date in 1712 and introduced the Gregorian calendar on this date in 1753. In 1692, Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and Tituba were brought before local magistrate in Salem Village, Massachusetts, beginning what would become known as the Salem Witch Trials. In 1642, Georgiana, Massachusetts, now known as York, Maine, became the first incorporated city in what would become the United States. In 1565, the city of Rio de Janeiro was founded. In 509 BC, Publius Valerius Publicola, Roman consul, celebrated the first triumph of the Roman Republic after his victory over the opposed King Lucius Tigrinus Superbus at the Battle of Silva Arcea. And in 752 BC, Romulus, legendary first king of Rome, celebrated the first Roman triumph after his victory over Caesensis, which followed the rape of the Sabian women. First, Willpower, 1981. And that concludes Tifitht Itp. My lord, what a show that was today. For your dose of passive daily, I am Ao, and you are you. Toodles!